So right here, I have every single invoice from my very first year being a filmmaker. Back in 2015, that was the very first year that I was kind of on the books as a filmmaker videographer, kind of a solo freelance shooter. And I thought it'd be quite interesting for me to go through and break down month by month how much I earned being a filmmaker, what shoots I got come in, and see if there was like a progression in that. Because I haven't actually looked at these yet. I literally pulled them out of the cupboard the other night and I thought, I can make a video about that. And the other reason I want to make a video about this is because I've seen so many videos on YouTube of people breaking down and talking about how much they earned a certain year being like a YouTuber or whatever. And it gave me so much inspiration just to see how much you can earn in certain industries. And it was quite nice to just see how transparent people were. So I thought, you know what, mate, I might as well give back to the old filmmaking community because you lot know I love you to bits. So I want to try and give you as much value as I can. And hopefully this could potentially inspire some of you to be like, yeah, I can actually make some dough with my camera. So yeah, I thought this would be quite interesting. So to give you guys a bit of a backstory on how I got to 2015, and before I do, I'm going to zoom in, simply so that I can somewhat conceal the invoices, because I want to give you all the numbers, but I just don't want to expose the clients I work for. So anyway, let's get back to it. So before 2015, I was still shooting loads of different bits for fun. I was like a hobbyist, you know. I was shooting lots of photography, videography, just lots of different things with friends. I was also doing quite a lot of jobs for free. So I didn't just turn up on April 2015 and start doing jobs for people. I honestly put in so much work, probably about 3 or 4 years of just learning, playing around with cameras, letting people know in my local area that I was a videographer. I remember doing so much free work for friends of friends, family that have got businesses and things like that. I was just doing loads of that for free, simply because I just loved doing it. I couldn't think of actually getting paid. I was like, this is so much fun. Of course I'm going to go and make you a video, and I wanted to go out and do it. And then after a while, I slowly started getting paid for things. And that's when I was like, well, hold your horses, mate. I need to actually be self-employed and take this seriously. So that's exactly what I did in 2015. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down every single month from, you know, these shoots and talk about how much I earn in each month and see if there's kind of a gradual increase of how much I earn each month. Maybe there will, maybe there won't, who knows? But I think it's going to be quite interesting. So let's go straight from the very first month. In the UK, we go from April to April, the tax year. So this is going to be April 2015, the very first year that I was on the books. So yeah, let's get stuck in. So the very first one, I have an invoice here for £708, which is pretty damn good. Back in the day, I was like, whoa, yeah, that's a lot. But that was for 4 days work in London as a videographer. So realistically, 4 days for 708 quid ain't actually that great. My rate was 160 quid a day. That's not great, is it? So yeah, that's the very first one that I'd done. Next up, I've got another assisting job. I actually done quite a few assisting jobs when I very first started. £184 for the entire day for an assisting job in London. Now, I actually remember this one very, very well because I got completely humiliated on this job. I was there as an assistant on this job for quite a well-known cinematographer in the UK, and I got absolutely demolished here. I remember I made like a joke on set. There was loads of people on set, right? There was like the actors, there was also the client that was there because it was a commercial for a brand, and there was a load of people in production. So we had like PAs on set. There was loads of people, and I made a bit of a joke. I was just trying to make a joke, like making everyone feel a bit more comfortable and everything. And then the DP actually said, that's why we get you on these shoots, James, because you're pretty funny and you're also cheap. And when they said you're also cheap, kind of everyone went quiet, and it was kind of just really embarrassing. It was just really bloody humiliating and like just embarrassing for me. I was like, hell, like, yeah, it was just a bit demoralising. But you know what, mate? We live and we learn, and you got to go through them things, and it makes you a bit tougher. And now I couldn't give a flying fuck. Next invoice, 456 quid. That's actually pretty good. That was a shoot myself that I'd done in London. That was 2 days worth of shooting, 1 day of editing. So yeah. So in April, I only done 3 shoots, literally 3 invoices right there. And that came to a total of, I need to work this out, £1,348. Not great for a month of being a freelancer, but we go again. May, got one here for £40. That's not good, is it? I actually remember this one. I went in and done some headshots for a company that like a little local company that just needed headshots for their website, and I went in there for about 2 hours and just took headshots of the entire company. 40 quid. What was I thinking, mate? Next job, £350. That was a wedding. I done a wedding for 350 quid. I actually remember this couple as well, and that was such a good video. I was basically giving this stuff out for free. Next job was £484 for a good friend of mine who had a company. I think that's pretty decent. Rate was 190 quid a day, and the edit was 320 quid. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. It was only like a little 60-second video, so at the time I was like, boom, mate, this is big. I'm loving this. So again, in May, I only had 3 jobs on, and they came to a total of 874 quid. I was literally eating baked beans, breakfast, lunch and dinner. What a nightmare. June, again, I only had 3 flipping shoots, mate. 100 quid for some photos, 250 quid for a video, and 500 quid for a promotional video. This 500 quid video was quite a pivotal point because this was the first brand that I got on for a roster of videos. So I used to do 1 video a month for this company for 500 quid. And this was the first kind of big company that I was earning what I thought at the time. I was only 20 thinking, yeah, 500 quid a pop. This is pretty good and sustainable. So yeah, that was a pretty big one. So for June, that was a total of 850 quid. Still not very good though, is it? Right, July, this is when things start to get a bit juicy. There is a lot of invoices here. So the very first one, £200, a video for an estate agent. Next one, £373 for being a assistant on a shoot. That's not too bad. 520 quid for a... This is actually for that company that I mentioned before that I was doing kind of the roster of videos for. So that was pretty damn good. Next up, £2,000. This was easily the biggest shoot I've had to date at this point back in 2015. That was for 5 days of shooting. So at a rate of 360 quid with a little edit day in there. So yeah, this is where things start to level up. Next up, £680 for an entire promotional video that took 3 days. Right, so that is the month of July. We got 5 videos done or 5 jobs done, and they came to a total of 3,772. Massive jump, and that is partly because I actually increased my rate during this month. I was having a conversation with someone in the industry, and they just said, James, mate, you need to increase your rate. You are basically giving away your time for free, and thank God they come up to me and said that. Yeah, massive jump as well, so hopefully that carries on for the rest of the bloody ones here, but who knows. Right, so August, we've got 7 jobs. So it does seem to be bloody increasing. So the very first one, £520 that the company from, yeah, you know, £450, £940, 200 smackers, £208, £280, £796 to be a camera operator on a shoot. Decent. So August had a total of £2,874. So we have had a little bit of a drop from July, but you know what, mate? Hopefully we can pump it up. Don't you know? So September, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not great, but you never know, they might be high earners. So number 1, £520, £650. That was a wedding, so you can see that the weddings are, you know, slowly bumping up, which was pretty good. £434, £464, £163. That last one was from the helmet that, you know, was saying I was cheap and that, so, which clearly I bloody was. 463, 434, 650. So yeah, what does that bring us to? So September, we had a combined total of 2,471 smackers. So October, this is where we start to level up on the old numbers. I've got 8 invoices here, so we're looking pretty big already. 280 quid, 1,160 quid. Estate agent, very nice. 434 quid, 504 quid, 210 quid, 718 quid. Damn, I remember that one. 70 quid, what the hell was that? 70 quid. Oh, it was a little edit for a friend of a friend. Don't get involved with friend of friends, mate. All friends, just keep it professional. 280 quid. So for October, we had a combined total of 3,646 bangers. November, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've dropped down massively, literally done half the amount that we've done the previous month. But let's see what the costs are. So 800 smackers, a nightclub video, 1,591. That was for a big company, and I love doing that, but there was 4 videos in that, so that's quite a lot of work. 780 smackers, 318 smackers. So, combined total of 3,484. We're pretty consistent at this point, aren't we? December, mate, last month of the year. Usually, well, for now, for me, the last month of the year is the best month. So, let's see if it was the same back in 2015. So, how many have we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 invoices for December. So let's have a look. 320, 170, 2,219. Big old invoice, but it wasn't just for one job. I think there's about 3 or 4 video jobs in there, so pretty big job nonetheless. £400 for a dental practice video, pretty interesting. £500 for that company that I do monthly videos for. So, combined total, 3,609 smackers. So we're still in the same kind of ballpark. January 2016, now we're starting to, you know, level up. How many have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 invoices. So let's check the prices. £400, £755, £400, £280. Damn, £955, £80 for some bloody product photos. Honestly, it's ludicrous. So January is typically not a good year. Well, it's just a bit of a slow year pretty much every year since the 2015. So to get £282,870, I don't think that's that bad. So, well, for back then. So, February, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, is that it? Damn. Right, so number 1, £500, £649, £1,127, very nice, £640 for a combined total of 2,916 big ones. So the final month of this year, total amount of 100, 1,000, 890, 700, 593, 100. Total amount of 3,383. Right, literally only I would do this. I've been editing this particular video and I've realised that when I gave the grand total of the year, I got the number completely bloody wrong. Thank God I'm not in maths, mate. Right, so I'm going to do this bit again. So the total amount that I earned in my very first year being a freelance videographer filmmaker came to a total of 32,754 quid. Now, that is a pretty good amount of money. I didn't expect to be making that kind of money. I think your very first year is a complete experiment. You don't really know what you're doing. You're just trying to get your name out there, trying to get your work out there. You'll take any kind of work for any money, and you will massively undersell yourself. You will end up doing jobs that you hate, and then that will give you an idea for the jobs that you should and shouldn't take based on the way that the people interact with you. You learn how to interact with people on set. You learn how to do invoicing. You know how to price for certain jobs. That first year is just a massive experiment. I got my fingers stuck in some pretty diverse jobs, and I think it's really important to go as diverse as you can when you first start out, because you work out loads of different things about the industry. You learn what jobs you do want to take, you learn what jobs you don't really want to take anymore, and you start to push them out. And by the way, people, this number is completely pre-tax, completely pre-investing into the brand and all of my expenses. Fortunately for me, I didn't really have hardly any expenses in my very first year, simply because I was working from home, editing from home. I used my Canon 550D and my very simple 50mm and my 10-18. So I had a wide and then a tighter lens. That camera's obviously Super 35, crop sensor, so it's relatively tight for interviews and stuff like that at 50mm. Obviously, don't compare yourself to me. We're completely different people. We live in completely different places. We've got different experiences. But I do think that the takeaways from this video would be don't go too hard on yourself on the first year. The first year is literally to find out where you sit in this spectrum and how you can charge, how you can build up this web of clients. Literally, one client could spring out to 3 or 4 other clients that come from that one client if you do a banging job for them. Just do the best work that you possibly can, and then different jobs will come from there, and then you can slowly pick and choose which jobs you want to take. It's so weird looking back at all of them invoices now and seeing the kind of work that I did then compared to the work that I do now. So I hope that there's some real nuggets in there for you lot to take away and kind of apply to your own businesses, even though I'm not the holy grail of filmmaking or videography. I just kind of went with the flow and done what I think was right at the time. So no one's perfect, mate. However, 32 bags I think is a pretty good amount for your first year. I'm not trying to big myself up. I would consider £32,000 a lot of money. Some people might consider that hardly anything a year. And luckily, compared to what I'm doing now, 32,000 is a lot less than what I'm getting now, because naturally, as you get better and you get more of a name in the industry, you do start to charge more, you get better jobs, and you're a bit more clever with your money. You invest a little bit differently. Obviously, I do YouTube now, so there's really interesting different ways that you can earn money through this whole filmmaking thing that we do. However, I'm never ever going to stop doing client work, stop making films, stop making commercials, because I love working as a team, working for a brief. I so enjoy working for someone else, working for a client and delivering what they want, and them coming out the other end so happy with what I've made them. I don't think there's a better feeling out there. However, obviously, I love making YouTube to bits. Obviously, I make these videos for you lot. I want to hopefully give everything that I can and funnel it to you guys, and in the hopes that you can take something from it. So I hope this video is just an add-on to all of the creative stuff, because obviously the business side of things is so important. We couldn't do this without the business side of things. So yeah, anyway, people, thanks so much for watching, and I'll be catching you lot in the next one, mate. Bosh.